In Nairobi, the People's Parliament are getting together to discuss Kenya's important issues and their impact on the upcoming August elections.
In Nigeria's northeast, farmers are boosting food production with improved seed varieties and other forms of support from the government.
And a national park in Malawi welcomes some new fleet-footed inhabitants who were moved in from their former home in South Africa. Africa 54 starts right now.
Hello, I'm Chamberlain, also at Channels Television here in Lagos. Welcome to the show that takes you around Nigeria and the continent for news and other stories. I'm joined on the show by my colleague at the Voice of America.
Well, thanks a lot, Chamberlain. I'm Vincent McCory in Studio 51 at VOA's global headquarters here in Washington. We start this week with a story of interest to every farmer in the Northeast, as Chamberlain explains.
At least 1,200 farmers in Nigeria's Northeast are benefiting from an intervention aimed at boosting local food production in the region with improved seed varieties and other forms of support. Authorities say the initiative will help communities affected by Boko Haram attacks. Here's the story.
What better time to support farmers than the start of the new planting season? With the provision of these bags of improved variety seedlings and fertilizers to at least 1,200 farmers in Gaydam local government area of Yobe State, the target is almost obvious: to boost food production and reduce unemployment in the area.
We are benefiting from nearly 1,200 bags of fertilizer for farmers, cultivation 1,200 hectares, sesame seed, millet seed, and cowpea seed. I hope this will go a long way in boosting food production in Gaydam local government, and by extension, it will also reduce poverty and make a lot of food more available on our tables.
The district head of the community asked the farmers to make good use of the farming input and warns against the temptation of the short-term gain of selling or consuming the improved seed and fertilizers for personal use.
We are urging you to please take a good care and take a good use of these fertilizers that have been given to you. Please not to divert or sell any of these packages given to you. And also, I would like to send our appreciation and a big thanks to NERI, Northeast Regional Initiative. We are thanking you very, very much for so many items have been seen distributed by NERI and supported by local government itself, with our dynamic leader, that is Murima Idimoto. We are very proud of you, sir.
The beneficiaries in turn pledged to make the best use of the materials to improve food sufficiency in the area and the Northeast as a whole. Improved variety of seeds distributed to the farmers include millet, cowpeas and sesame seeds. There was also the fertilizers. Also available is the hiring of tractors for harrowing of the hectares of farmland and for each participating farmer to assist with seed planting throughout the year's planting season. The agricultural support program initiated by Gaydam local government area is a direct response to the needs of community members geared towards supporting the indigent, especially internally displaced persons and the host communities in the aftermath of the Boko Haram attacks.
As Northeast farmers work toward recovery, Nigeria's 2017 budget signed into law this June is one to look out for at a record 7.44 trillion naira. The spending plan is aimed at boosting the economy and dragging the nation out of recession. Well, joining us for more on that is Bosun Omofaye, our business editor. Welcome to Africa 54.
Thank you, Chamberlain.
Well, we know that, yes, indeed, the budget has been signed, but what kind of impact can this budget have on getting us out of recession?
Well, it's less about the size of the budget. It's more about how impactful will it be and in what sectors. We need to focus on big industries. That is one good. You need to have companies that can create jobs, that need to pay the right tax, that will have electricity and other infrastructure. The budget would also help on the social area if government spends into agriculture and on light industries, including folks who are doing retail businesses. Retail in the sense whether they are agrarian or they are mechanized, non-mechanized form of activities. These folks need small credit that will be available, but they also need social infrastructure. They need roads to move goods and services, raw materials from one point to another. The FX market is working a little bit. So I think this budget is coming into an environment in which the FX market is a little bit more stable. The government is rolling out some policies that would help via the Industry, Trade and Investment Ministry.
You know, you speak about roads, and we'd like to know, what are your thoughts on implementation? Because we have a unique procurement process. How will that play out?
Well, procurement, the government has spoken about buy made in Nigeria and patronize local industries, but you also need to help these local companies that Nigerian government, local, federal, and state will patronize. Nobody will produce quality materials for you to procure if they don't have the electricity, they don't have the right skilled workforce, and they don't have the right environment. If the procurement process is right, but you have very bad roads, road network, you don't have the right rail services that can move these products or raw materials from point A to point B, you're still going to suffer similar losses that you've had the previous years. So it's not enough to have the right procurement laws that is free of misbehaviors, that is transparent and accountable, but you must also have the backup. Logistics is one of the key major problems for budgetary implementation in Nigeria. We have every good thing on paper, but when it gets to let's move it from paper to the product, it becomes a problem because logistics become very tenuous, very difficult, and we haven't been able to get our fingers on that.
Let's wind down with this one. What level of implementation should we expect?
Well, if all the talk and actions from the fiscal side so far is anything to go by with the economic recovery and growth plan and what the central bank has been doing over the 41 items and the FX window over the last 1 year is anything to go by. If you put all that together and the confidence you're seeing in the financial markets and the medium and small enterprises with manufacturing report for April and May, you expect that this budget should be able to improve the economy overall and help Nigeria get out of recovery. But whether it will address the fundamental structural dysfunction of the economy, which is dependent on oil and other things, is what rent-seeking is what we need to see as the years go by. All
right, and that's where we'll let it go. Bosoma for Channels TV's business editor. Thank you for coming on Africa 54.
My pleasure, Chamberlain.
Well, our next stop now is Kenya, where campaigning is underway for the much-anticipated August elections. For a preview of the top issues, viewers Jill Craig visited the so-called People's Parliament in Nairobi and has this report.
They may not be making the laws, but they certainly have an opinion about them. Here in Nairobi, the Bunge la Wazalendo, also known as the People's Parliament, meets throughout the day to discuss important issues and, of course, the upcoming August elections.
Actually, we talk about the high cost of living, and we also talk about our top leadership. Yeah, we discuss almost everything around this area.
You cannot get water if you want to get water. You cannot get the ambulance for you to be in the hospital. You cannot get free health care. You cannot get food.
Corruption is another primary issue for Kenyans, which is why voters like Margaret Nganyi will be voting for the opposition candidate Raila Odinga instead of the current president.
We are going to vote this man out because he's a thief. He has stolen from us. He's just taking us for a ride. He's not taking care of us, and we are taxpayers.
Others support President Uhuru Kenyatta, often citing his infrastructure projects as proof of success.
He has done a good job and still have a very long journey to do to take Kenyans to the final part of the journey.
Still, other voters remain skeptical that either the ruling party or the opposition will bring positive change to the country.
For now, it's just a matter of saying which one is a better devil.
But there is one thing that most Kenyans seem to agree upon.
By the way, politics is everything, because when you look at what is going on in this country, the most contributor of what is going on in this country is politics.
Kenya's elections are slated for August 8th, and the members of this People's Parliament will be watching closely. Jill Craig, VOA News, Nairobi.
Well, we want to know what you think about Africa 54 and the stories we cover. Join the conversation on Facebook. The address is Africa 54. And check out our headlines 24/7 on voaafrica.com. Coming up, donkey poaching is on the rise in South Africa, where the animals are being stolen for sale on the Chinese market. That story and more after the break.